Welcome back to another episode of the Daily O, sponsored by 5 Pizza. I'm Courtney Noisette. Thank you for joining us this evening. In global news, a massive cargo ship known as the Ever Giver has now been stuck across the Suez Canal in Egypt for 3 consecutive days. Officials are saying that strong winds and sandstorms were the main reason the ship was knocked off its course. This accident has clogged one of the world's busiest shipping waterways, and multiple tugboats have failed in their efforts to dislodge the enormous vessel. Shipping experts claim that the vessel's vast size was a factor, as the 20,000 containers on deck tend to act as massive sails during windy conditions. Rescue crews are saying it could take weeks to set the large cargo vessel free. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, however, is optimistic that navigation via the Suez Canal will resume within 48 to 72 hours. To put it into perspective, this massive ship measures about 1,300 feet long, which means it is longer than the Eiffel Tower is tall. Aside from that, however, experts are saying this issue could lead to major economic disruption as the world supply chain is being temporarily halted. Normally, the Suez Canal, which connects the Red Sea and Mediterranean, traverses approximately $3 billion worth of goods every single day. Additionally, about 10% of worldwide commerce passes through the Suez Canal. The Ever Giver was sailing from China to Netherlands, and its blockage has caused delays in roughly 150 other merchant vessels as well. Again, tugboats are doing all they can to hopefully resume normal traffic along the canal soon. If you're looking for some fun, laughter, or even to learn more about Shakespeare, this weekend the OSU Theater Department is presenting The Complete Works of Shakespeare Abridged, directed by Nick Mina. The Oak Collie Chase Congleton has hosted an interview with David Kersner, head of theater, director Nick Mina, and the entire cast. The show condenses and parodies 37 Shakespeare plays in around 90 minutes. This production has gone through a turn of events in response to COVID-19 guidelines. Midway through the rehearsal process, the cast had to switch from an expected outdoor live performance into a Zoom film hybrid production. One of the cast members, Tyron Baltrip, states that one of the biggest challenges was, quote, having to adapt what we know for stage into the Zoom format that is not film but a new genre, end quote. Furthermore, the show was directed remotely and solely through Zoom because director Nick Mina stayed in Manhattan, New York. One of the assistant directors, Jackson Steele, explains that it was, quote, a unique experience. We had to be Mina's eyes and ears to translate his vision because his perspective was through a laptop, end quote. On a final note, the script was adapted from a 3-person all-male cast into a diverse group of 7 actors. OSU Theater's production of The Complete Works of Shakespeare can be streamed on the Oak Collie Media Group app today, March 26th through March 28th, from 7:30 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Further details on this show and how to stream can be found on their website at theater.okstate.edu. Up next, Dylan Walker gives us the latest in entertainment news.
Hello and happy Friday, Cowboy family. I hope everyone is having an amazing week. A ton has gone on this week, but I've made sure to pick out some of the best and most entertaining moments to share with you guys. So let's get into it. Iconic actress Jennifer Garner finally got her ears pierced at the age of 48. When talking to Ellen DeGeneres about why it took her so long to finally get them pierced, she said, quote, I was afraid my dad might not like them, end quote. She goes on later to talk about how thrilled she is to finally have them and that she doesn't know why it never occurred to her to get them earlier. Jennifer then flashed her new piercings on live TV and was rocking a cute pair of gold earrings. The adult cartoon sensation The Simpsons celebrated another milestone just recently when it hit its 700th episode. The infamous episode, called Manager Things, aired on March 21st, about midway through the 32nd season. Yardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson, as well as some other characters on the show, had an interview with Fox News to talk about her career on the show and the major milestone. When asked how she felt about everything, she said, quote, it's incredible. I was so happy that the show made it past 5 seasons. This job will never get old, end quote. The Simpsons first aired in December 1989 and has just recently renewed its contract to last until 2023. So get ready for some more prediction and some good old-fashioned Simpsons humor. Disney's streaming service, Disney Plus, is as successful as ever and will only increase in popularity once the streaming service finally releases the new Marvel film, Black Widow. The movie was originally scheduled to be released on May 1st, but is now scheduled to release simultaneously in theaters and on the streaming site on July 9th. However, this highly anticipated film comes at an extra cost of $30 for all of those wishing to watch it from the comfort of their own home. Adam Levine recently took to Instagram to display his new and dramatic leg tattoo. Reaching all the way from his ankle to his upper thigh, Adam's new ink was showcased as a video on his Instagram story with the caption, "Today was ouch, but it was worth it," to inform all of his friends and fans of his new look. Inspired by the famous Japanese art piece, The Great Wave of Kanagawa, the tattoo is a look-alike wave sweeping over the whole limb. And finally, to close out today's show, Taylor Swift is continuing her hit song streak with the help of Maren Morris. Swift's new song titled You Without Me features Morris and is available for preview now. This is just one of the 6 songs being released from The Vault. Although the release date are still up in the air for the songs, I'm hoping we'll find out fairly soon. That's all the tea I have for you today, folks. Thanks for watching The Spill with Dill, and I'll see you next Friday.
Thanks, Dylan. Tune in next week for another edition of The Spill with Dill. A return to normalcy depends on widespread acceptance of coronavirus vaccines, but anti-vaccination groups and individuals are working to promote frightening and false theories about them online. Here's the story.
I was like, oh my gosh, we are not vaccinating our kid. There's no way. If the vaccine goes into our child, she'll just die. That's all there is to it.
You thought if your daughter took the vaccine, she might die?
That she would die. Not might, just like would.
Until recently, 30-year-old Heather Simpson was somewhat of an influencer in the anti-vax space. Now she's changed her tune, although her husband has not.
You're going to get the COVID shot when you can get it.
Right.
Ben, are you?
Probably not, and that's because I've already had it. Like, I had COVID, so I have antibodies.
The CDC recommends all adults get the vaccine, even if they have had COVID-19. Heather says she blames herself for the vaccine misinformation she shared online and with her husband.
When you went online, you became part of the anti-vax community. Tell me how you found it, how you got into it.
When Charlotte was like 15, 16 months old, I decided to make a post thinking I was so brave about my anti-vaccine views and vaccine hesitancy, and it got shared like 600 times, and I was like, holy crud. And then after that, I just got this following of people.
You got the validation from the likes.
Yeah, the validation. I'm not an idiot. A lot of people believe this.
And then you got pulled in.
I feel like a lot of the anti-vax moms all found each other all at once. I was getting like a friend request per minute.
With the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines, the stakes of online misinformation about vaccines are even higher. Renee DeResta, an expert at Stanford, explains how negative but not representative stories about vaccines go viral online.
When I was a new mom, I joined a couple of groups on Facebook for new moms where people were saying, well, I have a friend and she vaccinated and then this terrible thing happened. And it was this concept of like the friend of a friend narrative. The power of the personal story is what social media really brings home for all of us. We may live in a world of facts and statistics in the aggregate, but in terms of what we personally feel, it's what comes to us from our communities. It's what comes to us from people who are like us. That's what people are really sharing. That's the kind of content that spreads.
B is for vaccine. That protects you from getting sick.
Heather says her views on vaccines and on medicine began to change when she needed surgery.
I posted about it and my friends were like, this is the lazy way out. You need to be eating this food and taking this silver and doing this to heal yourself. Getting surgery is lazy.
So was it overnight you went from?
No, it took months, and I had friends that really poured into me and listened to my fears and talked me through it. And it really helped to know that they were scared, even though they're pro-vax. They're scared giving their kids shots because that's just normal parental anxiety.
You said your intent by posting this was to inspire some parent to stop their child from getting vaccinated. Do you think you did that?
Yeah, like I know I did. I've had people tell me that they're not vaccinating because of my posts.
How does that make you feel now?
Really bad. I'm sure it's not just those few, like the amount of people I reached, because my main way of posting was fear-based and emotional-based, and I can't take it back.
Are you afraid that you might have harmed some children?
I mean, I would hope not. I'm also hoping that if they still follow me, they're gonna see that I changed and maybe I could reverse the damage. I know that's a long shot, but.
Have you sought to contact any of them to say, hey, wait, I was wrong?
I don't even know who they are anymore. I shut that Facebook down and I started a new one, and all I can hope is that they will somehow see me changing my mind. But yeah, it is hard to live with.
6 states have expanded coronavirus vaccine eligibility to anyone 16 and older. At least 28 more states plan to open up to people 16 and older by the end of April. Next, we'll take a quick break, and then Josh Weisel has our weather.
Hey folks, and welcome back to the Ocali Storm Studios. I'm Joshua Weisel here with a quick look at your weather and my extended 10-day forecast coming up here in just a little bit. So here's the forecast for this evening and tonight. It is very pleasant across the region. Sunny skies for the next couple of hours before we see clear skies this evening. We're going to see highs around 76 for the next let's say hour or two before temperatures start to lower into the 60s and 50s overnight. We could hit 49 by early tomorrow morning, but if you have any plans in the morning, make sure that you just grab a jacket. We'll quickly warm back up into almost 60 degrees by 9 a.m. So this is a quick look at your overnight into tomorrow morning forecast. Moving on, here's a look at tomorrow afternoon and evening. Mostly sunny skies, beautiful day across the area once again. We're not going to see highs as high as what we saw today. Highs tomorrow will be around 71 across Stillwater, mostly sunny skies. Our average high is around 69. Moving on into Sunday, once again, another pleasant day. We're going to start to see those temperatures cool down just a little bit into the upper 60s by Sunday. Mostly sunny skies will prevail once again. So if you have any plans this weekend, if you're wanting to go to the gardens or just walking around, biking, walking around campus, it is a beautiful weekend to do that. We're going to see mostly clear conditions Saturday and Sunday. Moving on, real quick, since we don't have a whole lot to talk about weather-wise because the weather's actually quite calm, the biggest issue weather-wise is the allergy index. And again, that nasty tree pollen is sticking around at moderate levels. The ozone index and regular grass and weed pollen, those are low, but tree pollen is not going away. It's consistent with its range in the moderate to high area. So unfortunately for some people with allergies, this is an issue. So if you are suffering from allergies right now, just know tree pollen is at a moderate to high right now. And this is a quick look at the allergy index. So here's a look at my extended forecast. And like I said, weather is quite calm for the next couple of days through at least Monday. Some showers and storms could be possible around Tuesday and into Wednesday, but that's fairly low coverage I'm expecting at this time. We're talking about 20% coverage, so not all of us are going to see any of that activity, but we're going to see mostly sunny skies through at least Monday, some clouds coming in Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to step out of the way real quick so you can see the rest of my forecast. Taking a look at next weekend, your Easter weekend, it looks quite beautiful. Temperatures almost into the 80s by Saturday. We're going to see a high of 80 on Sunday with mostly clear skies. So fortunately, we don't have any sort of thunderstorm chances or severe weather chances in the forecast as of now for the next 10 days. That could change, so make sure that you always stick around for these forecast updates at the Ocali every Monday and Friday. But stick around for sports coming up right after this.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our, intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit by, let's say Monday the 15th. Time's right there. There we go. Yeah. Just, you can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're gonna make a right.
If we win this, we have one way to get to the playoffs.
I know.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Connor Bergen, and let's get our attention to some OSU's news first. Cowboys Baseball started a 12-game homestand this past Tuesday against Missouri State Bears. MSU jumped out in front of the Cowboys early, scoring 3 runs in the first inning with a solo home run from the Bears' first baseman, Ben Whetstone, and a 2-run home run from the Bears' designated hitter, Jaden Rolfs. The Cowboys came right back with the Bears with a 3-run bomb from Cowboys second baseman Nolan McLean to tie the game up. The Cowboys kept the offense coming, scoring the next 5 runs that included a 2-run home run from Caden Trinkle in the 4th inning. This put the Cowboys up 8-3 going into the 7th inning. The Bears fought back and ultimately took down the Cowboys 11-8, powered by a 6-run 7th inning. The 20th ranked Cowboys will try and get back on the right foot this weekend when they take on the Kansas State Wildcats in a 3-game series at O'Brate Stadium. The first of the 3-game series takes place tonight at 6. Be sure to go support our Cowboys. Speaking of baseball, our own Gabby Sprang highlighted some former Cowboys who are making an impact in the major leagues.
Hello Cowboy fans and welcome to Cowboy Baseball Roundup. I'm Gabby Sprang and the Major League Baseball is just a month away, so let's take a look at the former Cowboys who made it to the big league. Dating back to the 1900s, the Cowboys have had 62 players that have played in the MLB, with greats like Robin Ventura and Matt Holliday, who was drafted out of Stillwater High School. Currently, there are just 4 players that call Oklahoma State their alma mater in the major leagues. Starting with the former Cowboy who had his debut in 2020. Thomas Hatch is a Tulsa native that got drafted by the Chicago Cubs in 2016 in the 3rd round. Prior to being drafted, Hatch was named the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year in 2016 with a 9-3 record and a 2.14 ERA, leading the Pokes to the College World Series. Hatch was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays and made his MLB debut in July of 2020 when he posted a 3.38 ERA in 5.1 innings of work. Now for a Cowboy that is known all around Stillwater and not just because of his great bat. Donnie Walton is son of the pitching coach at Oklahoma State, Rob Walton. Walton was drafted in 2016 in the 5th round by the Seattle Mariners. He now finds himself as an active player with the Mariners. His debut came in 2019. Since then, he has hit .302 in 43 at-bats. Another former Cowboy that has over 70 innings pitched in the big leagues is Andrew Heaney, a left-handed pitcher from Oklahoma City. While at OSU, Heaney was named the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year and a first-team All-American in 2012 after leading the NCAA with 140 strikeouts in 118 innings pitched. Heaney was then drafted in the first round by the Miami Marlins, but since 2012, he has played 6 seasons with the Los Angeles Angels, since making his debut in 2014. While he might be great on the field, he also has a big heart off the field. Heaney and wife Jordan make mission trips to Honduras during the offseason, and he is the Angels ambassador for the Home Plate Project, a league-wide project that supports child hunger prevention and battle food insecurity. To round up the former Oklahoma State Cowboys in the major leagues comes Tyler Lyons, a left-handed pitcher from Lubbock, Texas. He played all 4 years at Oklahoma State and posted a 22-14 record in 65 games. Lyons was drafted in 2010 after his senior campaign with the Pokes in the 9th round. 3 years later, he made his MLB debut and since has posted a 6.44 ERA in 65 innings pitched. Since then, Lyons is currently a free agent from the New York Yankees, but was invited to the 60-man roster for spring training. That is the Cowboy Baseball Major League Roundup, and I'm Gabby Sprang, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Gabby. Be sure to look out for those guys coming April 1st, opening day in the MLB. Moving over to softball, the Cowgirls were in action this past Wednesday night against North Texas in Stillwater. Pitchers Carrie Eberly and Kelly Maxwell combined to throw a perfect game while tossing a combined 9 strikeouts. Eberly is now 9-0 on the season, and when both ladies pitch, the Cowgirls are a staggering 18-1. The Cowgirls got a pair of hits from Kelly Naomi and Avery Hobson that drove in the runs. Haley Busby also knocked a solo homer to give the Cowgirls a deserved 5-0 win. OSU will look to ride this momentum into tonight when they open up conference play against the Kansas Jayhawks in Lawrence, Kansas. On Thursday afternoon, the NBA trade deadline passed, leaving many NBA players to pack their bags for a new beginning. In total on Thursday, 41 players and 15 draft picks were exchanged throughout 16 different teams. While more than half of the NBA was active among the deadline, the Orlando Magic stole the show, beginning to disassemble their roster in order to look ahead for the future. Notable players from the Magic being traded included 2-time All-Star Nikola Vucevic to the Chicago Bulls, high-flying Aaron Gordon to the Denver Nuggets, as well as the sharpshooter Evan Fournier to the Boston Celtics. Besides the Magic's transactions, other notable players being traded were Houston Rockets guard Victor Oladipo to the Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks Rajon Rondo to the Los Angeles Clippers for Lou Williams, as well as George Hill being traded from the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Philadelphia 76ers in a 3-team, 7-player trade involving the New York Knicks. While many players were moved around, one notable player who was not traded was Spurs forward Lamarcus Aldridge. On March 10th, it was reported that Aldridge had requested to be traded from the team or to be released. After no one was able to strike a deal for the 7-time All-Star, the Spurs decided to buy out the remaining $24 million of the deal, paying Aldridge $5.8 million, allowing him to become a free agent. Lamarcus has been a member of the Spurs for 6 seasons, averaging almost 20 points and 8 rebounds per game, but he's recently struggled this year with the team only averaging around 14 points. When asked about the request to leave the Spurs, head coach Greg Popovich had high praise for the forward, stating, quote, "He's been a great teammate. He's done everything we've asked. And at this point, we'd just like to find something that will work for him as much as for our club, because he deserves that." End quote. It has been recently reported by Yahoo Sports' Chris Haynes, Aldridge will speak to the Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, and Clippers, as well as the Brooklyn Nets before his final decision is made. For more news about Aldridge and the NBA, make sure to keep tuning into the Daily O to stay up to date on all the latest sporting news. Continuing this weekend is the NCAA tournament. Both the Cowboys and Cowgirls have been knocked out of the tournament, but there is still plenty of action to follow. The Cinderella team this year has to be Tulsa's own Oral Roberts University. The Golden Eagles have upset Ohio State and Florida, but it won't get easier for them as they will take on the 3-seeded Arkansas. Sister Jean's Loyola Chicago are playing for a shot in the Elite 8. They take on Oregon State as one of the hottest teams in the tournament right now, coming off one of the biggest upsets of the tournament when they defeated number 1 seeded and many people's favorites to win the whole tournament, Illinois. Tune in this weekend for all the Sweet 16 action. The NCAA also announced the finalists for the Wooden Award today. The final 5 include 2 players still in the tournament with Gonzaga's Corey Kisper and Baylor's Jared Butler. The remaining 3 have already been knocked out with Iowa's Luke Garza, Illinois' Ayo Dasumunu, and Oklahoma State's own Cade Cunningham. Speaking of Cade Cunningham, he is bound for the NBA after his stellar season in Stillwater. Cade took to Instagram this week to thank his Oklahoma State teammates and the college with pictures from his time here. Before we let you go, let's run down through the rest of the headlines for today. Big-time draft shakeup occurred today when the 49ers jumped to the 3rd overall pick with a trade with the Dolphins. The Dolphins then sent that pick to the Philadelphia Eagles for the 6th overall pick. This jump from the Niners all but guarantees their decision to draft a quarterback to eventually replace, as the ladies like to call him, Jimmy GQ, otherwise known as Jimmy Garoppolo. Texas' head coach, Shaka Smart, who is coming off a Big 12 title win this past month, has reportedly agreed to become the new head coach at Marquette. Saints' Marshawn Lattimore was arrested for possessing a loaded handgun that is believed to have been stolen Thursday night. And also, tomorrow night is UFC's 260, Stipe Miocic defending the heavyweight title against top contender Francis Ngannou. And it was just announced this afternoon that OSU's own Natasha Mack is declaring for the WNBA draft. That's all we have for today. Make sure to follow us on social media at @TheDailyO_TV. You can also watch our show on Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku, and on Suddenlink Channel 112. We'll see you back here on Monday. For The Daily O, I'm Connor Bergen.
The Daily O is brought to you by Firo's Fire-Kissed Pizza.